Hi everyone, my name is Kartik and my channel is about mental models. I hope you're enjoying my videos. If you are, then please subscribe to my channel. And as always, please like and share this video with everyone you know. In this video, I'm going to be talking about friction and viscosity again. As you will remember, I have done a video on friction and viscosity quite a few months ago, sort of coming on screen somewhere here. And I wanted to elaborate on this topic a little further. I explained the theory of friction and viscosity in my previous video, and so I won't revisit this again, apart from the key theme that both of these terms represent resistance in some form. And you will remember that I talked about moving a sofa and pushing a hockey puck in that video. But how does friction and viscosity manifest in real life, such that we need to consider it as a mental model? Well, let's take a few examples. Firstly, let's take my YouTube channel as sort of the first example. What would friction look like here? Well, friction here could be that every time I need to make a video, I need to set up the camera, I need to set up the apparatus, I need to set up the lighting, I need to set up this board, this light board. And then, and even the table that the board is on. So let's just leave it there. But let's say I need to set all of that up. And then once finished, I need to clean everything and then pack everything up again. So pack up. Now this is going to be very time consuming. And I need to do this sort of thing every time. I need to do this setup and clean away every time. So this is going to be time consuming, even though these are necessary steps. They are still going to slow me down. And deep down, in my heart of hearts, I really don't want to be doing this every time. This is not the activity I want to be doing. I want to be shooting videos. I want to be sort of uploading videos on YouTube. I want to be creating content, not to be bogged down by this kind of stuff, and not every time. Coupled with that, let's say if my studio was in a little shed at the back of sort of the garden in my house, then on the days where it's raining, I need to sort of go out of my house, walk to the shed and sort of set everything up. And so when it's raining, I've got sort of low morale anyway. It's going to be the case that it might end up that I'm not doing a video at all. I'll just sort of give up on that day. So this is what friction looks like in this scenario. In order to eliminate the friction, what I could do is, why not have the setup already in place? Why not have the setup already in place so that there is no need to set everything up every time? And if possible, why not have the studio in the corner of one room in my house? And so that way, rain or shine, I won't be affected. I won't need to go outside. And so this is sort of one way or a few ways of getting rid of friction. Let's say another example, still sort of in the same territory. Another example is, let's say I'm a student and I dislike maths. And it is also not a subject that I'm sort of good at. So I'm just going to put a few, something like that. I'm a student of maths. It's a subject that I'm not good at and I dislike it, but I know in order to get good at it, I will need to practice. So I do have that understanding. But the reality of it is that my maths textbook, so let's say my maths textbook, is in the coat cupboard. So it's in a cupboard. My pencil case and workbook are in my bedroom. And I have no dedicated study area, but rather what I do is I use the dining table to do any studying on, and this dining table is occupied for breakfast, lunch and dinner every day. So as you can guess, having the motivation to get everything and to sit down at the right time when the table is not occupied to do some learning will be difficult. So what does eliminating friction look like here? Well, first of all, it would be better to have all the items and materials in one place. And of course, it would be good to have a dedicated study area. Why not? And what would be even better is if the dedicated study area and the materials like books, pens, calculators, etc., if they were in one place, in the same place as the dedicated study area. So everything is in one place. That would be even better. So this is how you could remove or eliminate friction. Move over this side. Third example, let's say you are thinking of buying a house. This is sort of like the floor plan of the house. And you see that the kitchen is here. This is the front of the house. The kitchen is at the back of the house, but more importantly, the kitchen and the dining room are not connected and not next to each other. Now, on the face of it, this might not seem like friction, and in the short term it might not be. But let's say your lifestyle is such that you will be carrying cutlery, crockery, pots, pans, and anything else from the kitchen to the dining room for at least one of your main meals, and then carrying everything back again to the kitchen for washing up, and then sort of cleaning the dining room as well. Over time, this will feel like friction, and the greater the distance, so let's say the greater the distance, let's say the dining room was here, that would be some friction, but if the dining room is here as I've depicted, that would be greater friction. So the greater the distance from the kitchen the dining room is, the greater the friction. So choosing a house, so how do we eliminate this? Choosing a house where the dining room is next to or joint to the kitchen, or even having a sort of a kitchen diner type setup would go a long way to reduce, or even, as I say, kitchen diner, eliminate this. Of course, this is one that is dependent on your lifestyle, so it might not be the same thing for everyone. But the common factor here that I've talked to you about in all of these three examples, the common factor is that friction is something that slows you down. It can be an obstacle, but more often it is something that just gets in the way and just slows you down. And spotting it and eliminating it, that's sort of like the second step, but spotting it may not be all that straightforward, and of course eliminating it is never straightforward anyway. So what can we do to eliminate or even greatly reduce friction? Well, firstly, I don't know which colours to use. Firstly, planning. Planning something goes a long way to reducing friction. When you plan properly, you can foresee elements that will cause challenges or slow you down, and then you can take steps to address them. Similar to planning is thinking about the end-to-end process. Thinking about the end-to-end process is another step to eliminate friction. We don't always have the time to plan every move or consider every consequence, but thinking about the end-to-end process of what it is you're trying to do can also go a long way to identify some areas of friction, which you can then, again, consider how to minimize. Another thing is habit. Habit. Building good habits can eliminate friction. As an example, if you make it a habit to take your vitamin supplements in the morning on a daily basis, then what will happen is if you get into that habit, you will be unlikely to miss a day. There won't be a day that you forget to take your vitamin supplements. And even on the days you are running late or running behind schedule, it is highly likely you will still take your vitamin supplements because it's part of your morning routine. It's sort of, the habit has been already built and formed, and it's just something that you will feel incomplete without doing. And if you have to if you're so late, you will know it'll be a conscious decision. It won't be something that is friction related. It'll be friction somewhere else that has caused you not to take your vitamin supplement. So again, habit, forming good habits, building good habits, eliminate friction. So friction, as I think you've guessed now and I've sort of explained, friction can manifest in many different ways. And what may be friction for one person may not be friction for another. Eliminating friction is about simply figuring out what is making your life harder than it should be. I mean, as I say, friction for you might not be friction for another person. And it could be so that people might think you're complaining for no reason because, well, that's not really a problem. But if it's making your life harder than it should be, it's friction for you. And there is no right or wrong answer. And so spotting those things that are making your life harder than it should be, the next thing is trying to fix those elements, breaking it down and trying to fix those elements to see if it makes things easier for you. That's sort of the next natural step. And it's all about, I mean, this whole mental model and the realization of friction and viscosity, it's all about what makes life easier. And remember, friction can exist in almost anything. And being able to spot what is slowing down and thinking about how to make the thing easier is the first step to eliminating it, not just reducing it. It's the first step to eliminating it. And it's sometimes not a silver bullet type of a problem-solving concept. It can be iterative that, okay, I'll do this first, like in my YouTube channel, okay, I'll get something that is a permanent setup in my home, a room. Okay, let's see if I can just keep the board on and maybe only have to arrange the lighting and the camera. And then it could be so that you can improve your lighting and so you don't need to set up the lighting all the time. And then it might be so that you are able to buy a robust apparatus, so then you don't need to set up the camera all the time. Again, what I'm trying to say is it's not a one-time event to eliminating it. It was an iterative process. It took a little bit of a while, but you knew what you needed to do and you got to the end of it and you've pretty much almost eliminated all of the friction. And so that's all for this video. I hope you like this video. Please feel free to look at my previous friction video sort of flashing up here now. And also check out some of my other videos flashing on screen here. And I'm sure you will like them too. And I will see you in the next video with another mental model. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.